Hi, this is Billie Beene here with another segment of Weather Plus by Billie. Today's date, March 3rd, 2023. New. This is my third YouTube channel. I have a subscribe button in the lower right corner of my screen. Thanks for like, subscribe, and share on YouTube and Rumble. Episode 44. Some of my sources are God in the Bible, Patriot subscribers, War News 24/7, Beforeitsnews, an interview of S.G. Anon, Benjamin Fulford, website of Hal Turner, website of New York Times, website of Judy Byington, Steve Quayle's site with Daily Mail, Economic Collapse, Burning Platform, Plus. So let's get started. Some of the things we'll be covering. A new U.S. Capitol if D.C. is bombed. Ukraine attacks inside Russia. What's going on in East Palestine, Ohio? And what about that weather that's taking place, that geoengineering inside California? California people are seeing things for the first time in the history of California. So that's going on. Now we have this. We have Texas, Florida, California. All right, Canada. This will be where we have our spills still going on. Okay, California has been experiencing geoengineering. Plus, there are variables in the weather based on space weather, Planet X or Nibiru or galactic sheet or waves of energy. Something in space is coming in and is impacting the Earth and is causing more seismic activity, earthquakes, volcanoes, is affecting the weather, but the deep state as well as the white hats too, when it's convenient for them, are engaging in geoengineering. So, what's going on in California? History is being made with regard to snow and ice. So, a lot of people in California are experiencing their roofs collapsing because of so much snow. A shortage is occurring of food and water and gas because many of the roads are shut down. California is in a state of emergency, which includes many areas, including Santa Barbara, Kern, Los Angeles, San Bernardino, and other areas. Okay, some people in San Bernardino are trapped inside their homes based on the huge snowfall blocking their doors. Snow in Los Angeles. So there's to be freeze and snow through Thursday. That would have been yesterday. Some areas are as cold as 28 degrees Fahrenheit. The National Guard has been called out. So that's going on. Now, we have all this cold weather also moving across the U.S. and moving, this is the spill area. So this is Pennsylvania, Ohio, all the way down to Virginia, West Virginia, Tennessee, Kentucky, and so on. And we know up here we have also Michigan and Wisconsin. Okay, we've got these going on. So the geoengineering part of this had been to use these cold and freezing fronts to move across the U.S. to move the spill from this area out to the east. Now it's also going down into the Gulf of Mexico, the spill, and into the Ohio and Mississippi rivers. So the only direction this spill is not spreading to is west, because the coal systems here are pushing everything east. And then the flow through the Ohio and Mississippi rivers is carrying it down to the south. And we have flow up to the north, also into Canada. So that's going on. Now we have some things that are taking place inside our economy. I'll explain them to you. This is all part of the Nasara Jassara, the bringing on of this new economic system. We know the current U.S. dollar has to collapse. We understand there's going to be a black swan event. That means something huge on the economic front. We don't know what that would be yet. So now Bloomberg is reporting that 39 large companies have gone bankrupt since January of 2023. It is to be as bad as the economy went down in 2008, 2009, but worse. And I believe it will be worse. We have this. We have an office space default, a large company that owned a lot of commercial office space. Pacific Investment Management and their branch, Columbia, which had $1.7 billion of commercial office space in the U.S., is going bankrupt. Now we have this, car loans. So I reported a couple of days ago on two major subprime car loan lenders going bankrupt. And we have this. We have U.S. consumers, many are paying, 2 out of 13 are paying as much as $1,000 per month on their vehicle loan. It's because they're subprime and they have to pay so much interest. We have mortgage applications now at the end of February of 2023 reaching a 28-year low. That's because, and I've been reporting on that for a couple of months, how the interest rates are going up. And so that's going on. I know I had some property to sell and had to, go bottom line with that so I could sell the property because there's no market in now. Okay, we have, now I'll do a report, an update on what's going on with the East Palestine. So we have Pennsylvania, we've got Ohio. With the East Palestine spill, that was a train derail and burn that's going on. That's literally the worst environmental event in the United States, certainly, and ranks with Chernobyl and Fukushima. And we have, inept U.S. government individuals saying, oh, it's not as bad. No, it's poisoning people. Millions of animals are dead now, and we don't know what is going on with people because it's a cover-up. Now, supposedly, the New York Times is reporting that there was a meeting yesterday in East Palestine with the Norfolk Railroad Company officials and supposedly the U.S. federal government EPA, which we now know is really not for the people but sides with the major corporations, is saying to Norfolk, you're going to have to start testing. You have to start testing now for dioxins and other things. Well, how about the several weeks that people and animals and plants and water and ground soil have already been exposed? So the EPA doesn't put a time on it, doesn't put a dollar amount, just says, oh, Norfolk is going to have to start testing for dioxins. And Norfolk is going to be responsible for the cost of all this cleanup. Yeah, we'll believe that when we see it. And now we have Benjamin Fulford. He was a Canadian journalist, previously with Forbes for 20 years, has lived in Japan for several decades, has ties to the elite Asian families like the Golden Dragon family and the White Dragon family. Now, Jim Willie, a PhD economist from Costa Rica, several months ago, was talking about these Asian families, and I had a download from God that these families are real. Okay, because, you know, many of us, we're in the West, we're not familiar with this. Okay, so these are elite Asian families that have been around for thousands of years, and they are positive in terms of human freedom, human rights, peace and no war, active, dynamic economy for all people. So yeah, this is good. So now Benjamin Fulford is saying that many of the governments and other layers in a society have been infiltrated by deep state, and so that's true, and they control a lot of money systems, Fortune 500 companies, big pharma, big tech. Yeah. Now, Benjamin Fulford says the only group inside the U.S. that the deep state has not been successful in infiltrating, and which, along with God, and I believe God is going to be using the U.S. military. We still have a majority of our U.S. military who are upstanding, brave, God-fearing, freedom-loving American patriot citizens. Yeah, so that's going on. And now Benjamin Fulford is saying, yeah, the Jewish people inside Israel are now hundreds of thousands of the Jewish people who are genetic Jews are out on the streets protesting against an evil and corrupt deep state government, just like we in the United States are experiencing, of individuals that Jesus said, you say you are Jews, but you are not. You are of your father, serpents and vipers. Well, the Jewish people are waking up, because right now the evil and corrupt deep state government in Israel wants to pass a law where they control all the courts, and they say what's legal in Israel, and they take away all the rights and control the money and the banking system inside Israel. And the people of Israel are saying, no, no, no. Okay, so we have this going on now. So Hal Turner is bringing this out, and this is significant for the U.S. takedown of the U.S. economy. So the U.S. economy is currently the Federal Reserve system, we know, is now not legal. And I think it was 1913 when they took over illegally. And now, like, all the taxpayer dollars go out of the U.S., go to London, come back to the U.S., to this group, Federal Reserve, in the form of a loan, which the U.S. government then pays interest on. So now we know where the debt for the evil and corrupt U.S. government has come from. Now, So the Federal Reserve is dependent upon other nations and corporations buying U.S. bonds. So yesterday, March 1, there was a U.S. Treasury bond auction, and there were 0 bids. No one is buying U.S. bonds, so there is nothing and propping up this Federal Reserve fake economy. So that's going on, and they were selling them at interest rate of 4.005%. No bidders, and no one's buying. The majority of economies that are not part of the deep state system are joining BRICS, China and Russia and other nations. Okay, Hal Turner is bringing this out also. Retailers inside the U.S., we have 2,000, they're going bankrupt. Now we know since August of 2022, that shocking information came out from Hal Turner and Judy Bankton and other sources that Walmart, Kohl's, Target, FedEx, all these, Amazon, all these corporations were canceling billions of dollars of orders. That was last August. And then we saw the trucking and the go down by November, December, when it should have been at the height of making money in the U.S. economy based on the Christmas shopping season. All of that was going away. So this is not surprising now, from August of 2022 to now March of 2023, to hear that 2,000 retail operations inside the U.S. are going to be declaring bankruptcy. So that's going on. And now we have this. We have another large commercial company, Blackstone, that has billions of dollars of commercial office space, and defaulted just yesterday on a $562 million loan. So that's going on. And now we have this. We have some information coming out from Germany. Okay, we know that Germany was stabbed in the back by the JB actor puppet for the deep state, avatar for the deep state inside the U.S. when the U.S. blew up the N1, N2 Russian pipeline that Germany owned 49% of, and they not only received a cheap source of natural gas for their industry and people, they also were making a huge amount of money on it. But the U.S. blew it up and stabbed in the back a NATO member, Germany. Now Germany is their evil and corrupt deep state government goes a step further to destroy the people of Germany by sending all their Skynets and Sky Ranger air defense systems to Ukraine, leaving Germany without air defense protection. And now we have this from Burning Platform. Yeah, Bakhmut is being captured. I'll draw you a map now of what's going on in Ukraine. So we have Russia, we have Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporizhzhia, Kherson, Odessa, Crimea. And now we have this. We have inside we have Bakhmut. So in Bakhmut, just in the last couple of days, March 1 to, this is March 3, Russia has taken Bakhmut. And just a day or so ago, they had 7,000 Ukraine troops trapped there. We don't know what the status is. We do know that Russia has circled Bakhmut. They have gone, the Wagner group has gone to the center of the city, as has the Russian military, and put up flags inside Bakhmut. So Bakhmut is taken. Bakhmut had underground tunnels going to Italy, going to Israel, going to Turkey, and other places. It was a major hub for the deep state. That's why they were pressing so hard to keep Bakhmut. But Bakhmut has been taken by Russia. Okay, and now we have this. That Russia had been shelling Ukraine nonstop for 36 hours. And now we have this. Inside Crimea, about March 1, we had the U.S. CIA plus mercenaries go into Crimea and sabotage a rail station. So that's going on. Oh, and Russia does know that for sure. Okay, we have this. Poland, Romania, Moldova, Transnistria. These areas are heating up. And we understand there are now 15 to 30,000 Ukraine troops that want to go into Transnistria, part of Moldova, to capture a year's worth of ammo. So that's going on. And we have Romania moving to block the border here. We have Poland moving to block the border here. We also have Poland moving to block the border with Belarus. Belarus is aligned with Russia. So that's going on. And now we have this. Yeah, NATO is falling down on their ability to provide weapons and ammunition to Ukraine. There's a severe shortage of 155 millimeter ammo. Yeah, so that's going down. Now, we have this. We have biolabs, yeah, that are in Canada that the U.S. military is currently taking down in underground areas. That's going on inside Canada. And we have this. Those balloons we were seeing are some form of surveillance equipment that various countries have been sending out. Now, currently, we also have inside the U.S., we have a civil war going on inside our U.S. military. We have factions inside our U.S. military actually pulling guns and shooting one another. Same thing is going on, a civil war inside the U.S. government. And we, the people who are awake, we are aware of that. Now, just yesterday, March 2, we had a group of 50 to 60 Ukraine military go into Russia, into B.R.Y. Bernatsk. And what they did, they attacked civilians, burned houses, attacked a school bus, killed the bus driver and at least one child, and wounded many other children on the school bus. They were then routed out of Russia and back across the border, where the Russian military then opened up fire on this group, trying to get back across the border, killed every single one of them, and took down everything standing for about a 5-kilometer area. So that's going on. And now we have this. Medvedev, the former president of Russia and now a co-chairman of Russia's Security Council, said, after this incident of Ukraine killing children, Russian children on a school bus, Medvedev said, "We name NATO as co-participant in these activities." So now we have this. We have a deep state government saying, whoa, Russia is naming the U.S. specifically as a co-defendant and may attack Washington, D.C. So the deep state U.S. government is saying, okay, bring out those plans. Now, if Washington, D.C. is bombed by Russia, then we have other locations set up around the U.S. where we can move the U.S. capital. First would be Denver, Colorado. Second would be Omaha. Third would be Raleigh. Fourth would be Nashville. And number 5 would be Atlanta. So yeah, they're dusting off those plans and getting those sites ready because they're believing Russia when Russia says we name the United States of America and we name all nations involved in NATO as co-belligerents. And therefore, when we will strike on your military and political operations. Okay, so that's going on. Now we have this from War News 24/7. About noon yesterday, the Wagner Group had taken Bakhmut. March 1, the Russian military had circled Bakhmut. And March 2nd, yesterday, they had put up flags in the center of the city. So that's going on. And now we have this from Judy Byington and other sources that we know we have Starlink. That's a satellite system. And that Elon Musk had cut off Ukraine using it some weeks or months ago for military purposes. Starlink is also associated with the Space Force, and Judy Byington reports that these two forces together in 2 seconds can locate a nuke explosion anywhere on Earth and vaporize it. So that's going on. Now we have this. And this next part is actually the basis of the prayer the Lord gave me. Soon, we're going to see a Supreme Court decision. I'm thinking it probably has to do with the Brunson case. The Brunson case was a case against the U.S. Congress because they defied the Constitution in January of 2021 when they should have taken 10 days to investigate the claims, or at least 100 claims by different members of the House of Representatives and the Senate regarding the E that took place in November of 2020. There were big questions there, but instead, the Congress, the House of Representatives, a majority of the people, and the Senate voted to put in the JB entity, Brunson case. And so Judy Byington is reporting, a new finding on the Brunson case is likely on Monday, March 6th. And she's also talking about it could develop into 3 days of blackout, and we don't know what that means, blackout. Is it just the mainstream media is going away for 3 days? Does it mean, I don't think it means electrical power and internet and TV. I don't think that. I think it has something to do with taking over the mainstream media, emergency broadcasts like that. Calling it a black swan event. A black swan event is a major economic event, and we're seeing with that Federal Reserve, that Treasury auction of U.S. bonds, and zero people wanting to buy them. I would call that a significant black swan event. And now a short prayer. This is based on the King James Version, Habakkuk chapter 1, and it's named Righteous Courts. I will do a work in your day you will not believe. You say you are surrounded by evil, violent ones who subvert judgments, so that from your courts come evil judgments. I, your God, will intervene and convert your courts to seats of righteous proceedings. No more will my people be downtrodden. I have heard your cries and your prayers, and righteous judgments will be returned to the land of the brave. And we thank you, God the Father, and God the Son, Jesus, whom many call Yeshua, and God the Holy Spirit. Amen. I say to my family and friends, remain steady out there. Continue to pray. God is in charge, and He is on the move. I love you, and I'll see you soon.